Hello and welcome to the next match in the upper double elimination bracket of the 25th anniversary tournament. Today we will be having a great match for you between Metallica and Nateman, our 4th and 5th seeds from qualifying. Joining me today on commentary is Dredge, also known as Hellfire. Welcome. Thank you
Hello.
for helping me.
It's nice to be here. It's going to be a great match to watch. I
Yeah,
cannot
I'm
wait.
very excited.
Had Nateman banging out 32s already on Doug Derby, which has been decided as the first track of this match.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very dangerous track. Restarting.
Let's see here. It doesn't look like either of them have selected being ready yet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Just gonna ping and make sure that they make sure Metallica sees. All right. Well, as you're saying, Doug Derby, first track of the tournament match today. It's a very technical but short track. We do have the bottle countdown going,
Okay. Great.
so we should see the actual match start here shortly. But yeah, on paper, Nateman is certainly favored on Doug Derby, but it depends on if he can actually pull off the run. And that is always going to be the biggest component of it.
Yeah, it's very scary here. You're at R80 traction, which is not the highest, I'd say. You have some. You're pretty loose.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Okay.
can be pretty
So,
challenging sometimes. Ooh, Metallica already like tapping the wall just there, going through the U-turn with you.
yeah. Okay, it's about 13 second sync here.
Getting Nateman a chance to catch up. It's looking pretty clean for him so far.
Coming through to the section before the corkscrew is very brutal.
Okay.
We can see that
Oh,
he
it's nice to
does
see.
have a slight lead on each of these turns now. Most of that probably coming from that mistake from Metallica at the start.
Yeah. I also assume Metallica's probably playing a little safer because that's just his MO.
Yeah, he's going to play pretty consistent. He's going to go for what he thinks he can do every time. And I don't think Nateman's quite got that blood in him yet. I think he's kind of just going to go
Yeah.
flat out a lot of times because I'm not sure he knows how to do. Oh, Metallica making some major mistakes there.
Oh no.
Nateman almost dying to the pillar. Oh, that was
Ooh.
close. Oh, man. All right, so we can see that that mistake has cost Metallica probably over a second, honestly. And certainly between the two of them, he's lost a lot of time. So Nate's got a pretty comfortable lead here, going into the end sections of lap 3. Makes it
Doesn't
through the
blow it
corkscrew
there.
just fine. And Metallica takes a death.
Oh man, yeah.
And that certainly will make a pretty big difference.
Man, okay, that's awesome. I'm glad to see Nateman not tilting right off the start. That was an excellent
Yeah,
run.
that's a very good time for tournament. 133.54. No deaths. And a 139.84, 843 coming in from Metallica. All right, so Nateman's going to take the 1 point lead to start us off. And now that we are here, that means that we're going to get to go through the ban process. Each player will get to ban 2 tracks for the duration of this match. It's going to start off with Metallica, go to Nate, Metallica, and Nate again. And then it'll be Metallica's pick for where we're going.
I'm really interested to see what these bands are going to be like.
Yeah, so far we have Metallica banning Andobe Mountain Run, Nateman banning Inferno.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, Inferno was that was gonna happen. And Nate does have a 5-second lead over Metallica on Adobe Mountain Run. APC. Now that one I didn't see coming.
Huh.
That one kind of surprises me. I can't really imagine it.
Yeah.
And Nate taking out Zugga Challenge. Now I can get behind that. That's a good ban right there. Taking out Triplex against Metallica is a fantastic decision.
Yeah, Metallica's got a nasty skips time on Triplex for Zugga.
Yeah. He picked it against me in 2022 and just cooked me on it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. That's two of Metallica's probably most dangerous skips out.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like we got a Ben Quadinaro span coming in, so we're going to be doing something off meta, or maybe we're not going to be going to a Ben track. We do have both Grabvine and Fire Mountain on the table, and Metallica has a pretty significant margin of lead on Fire Mountain Rally from posted PBs.
Yep. Well,
Temp banning it. Good decision by Nate there, staying on top of his track knowledge there.
So GVG maybe.
Nate has a better GVG time,
Yeah.
so unless we're going to see an override for forcing no bullseye, I don't see that one happening. So we're going somewhere most likely is going to be bulls, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what we're going to do, unless we do the classic Brew Coast pick.
Oh, man.
Wait a minute here.
That's
if
tricky.
Metallica goes for that, ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, we got Sebulba's Legacy skips with no bend. That's rough with bulls. Wow. A very bold pick.
I can't imagine trying to do that last turn.
Is Metallica going to go with Mars? It looks like the best non-bend time right now is Metallica with Mars with a 148. So he might be going Mars here.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. That would make sense. Throw Nateman off with Bowls possibility and
yeah, definitely. Wow. It seems like Metallica, despite having some hesitancy about Nateman's preparation, probably having done some serious prep work this year. I'd be pretty scared of this pick if I were Nate.
Okay, we're locking in. Mars is Metallica. Have to see what Nateman chooses. I'm not sure if he knows. Well, I guess he can see at the time, but Mars, if you don't practice him on tracks where he's like technically off meta, he can really mess up a lot of things about the track.
Yeah, if I were Nate, I would either be doing Bulls or I would be doing Elon personally. Because Elon, you can make his traction and turning kind of feel more similar to Ben. Whereas Mars, you just can't do that ever.
Yeah, he is very alien to control, to deal with his collision size. Oh, Metallica messing
that
up. That
looked bad. Yeah, that was not going to work. If he doesn't start tilting on that, we could very well see Metallica throw his own pick here. The setup that I used for this skip that's very consistent with every pod is you go around that turn and you tilt on the skip portion. Because you get more height. You can tilt and turn right up a bit, and it just pops you right over. Yeah. Otherwise, you're kind of relying on hoping that your nose up is going to be enough, or that the game decides to give you height randomly. Which it did that time, so I guess that's Metallica's strat. Kind of.
Nateman's got it too, though.
Okay. Well, that's
good. Not out of the know, it seems.
It's good that Nate can do it with Mars. I'm still a bit concerned about how he's going to handle the rest of the track with Mars, though. Like you said, a very foreign-feeling pod. He has done a lot of Botto challenges, so I'm sure he's got a lot of experience with Mars at this point. But that does not mean it'll translate to Sebulba's skips in tournament.
Yeah, like I said, like if you have not practiced Mars as like off meta on most of these tracks, it's just so different. 2 out of 3?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Definitely making some mistakes on the track itself here, but it'll be interesting. Alright, so we got 30 seconds until the countdown happens on our end, and then it'll probably show up another 30 or so seconds after that in terms of the stream here. So we got about another minute of watching it warm up here. You see, Nate's clipping that corner a lot in practice. He's clipped it every lap.
Really questionable spot right there. That can easily lead to a death if you mess it up badly.
For sure. Let's
3
see
out of
what they both get here, though.
I think
Nate
Nateman's
pulling out a
ahead.
150.
Oh, Metallica reset.
Okay. Interesting. I honestly think that both of them have a good chance of doing perfectly fine on the skip 3 times. And it's going to come down to if they can be a clean race outside of that. If I just had to guess.
It's just going to come down to, like, not dying.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy to have that high traction with Mars with his big hitbox clip you on a corner when you're not expecting it. Alright, looks like we're starting.
I think it was like a 2.5 second delay.
Yeah.
Hey, we're off.
Yeah,
another mouse there track.
I'm just gonna adjust Nate a little bit. Overcompensated more than I intended
cleanly through.
Alright. Both holding their boosts where they need to, which is a bit easier with Mars than with Ben, so you would hope that they would. Both losing a bit of speed there.
Yeah, Nateman bonked though.
Yeah, and Metallica reaping a little bit of reward for that, taking a 4/10 lead, which, with their heat levels being practically the same, is pretty much a real lead. I think he maintained more speed through it too, so probably gonna gain a little bit. Okay.
No issues.
Both of them making it through and still holding the boosts. Okay. Good. Skip lap 2. And they're doing it the same way. Metallica taking a bonk that time. And they're going to come out nearly dead even there. Oh, boy.
That's incredible.
Okay, last lap.
It'll come down to this.
Yeah, can they both nail the skip one more time? And can they use up their heat adequately before the end of the track? Oh, wow. And that's going to cost him some heat there. So if Metallica stays clean, that might be the deciding factor right there. Let's see if Metallica can keep it clean through these last little bits.
Got it.
Oh, they won't die! Oh my gosh!
Does Metallica take this?
I think he has it.
Oh my word!
152.98. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Metallica taking it with them both tying to the skip. I did not see that one coming. Amazing.
The nerves got to them.
Well, if that was ever something to anticipate, skip on SL with Mars, I think that that's the one to anticipate a death like that from both players. He's just so hard to deal with. All right, Nateman also banning Ben, so we might not see some of our favorite boy today.
Man, a shame.
Yeah. Ben, in case you're newer to the pod racing scene, is the ultimate pick in this game. He's the meta pick for 23 out of the 25 tracks. And generally, he's honestly pretty easy to use because his turn rate doesn't oversteer that much, so it's pretty easy to get accustomed to him compared to some other pods.
Oh no, this is one I feared, dude.
Oh, jeez.
And people were complaining about no upgrades. Boy, do I have something very exciting in store for you now.
Yeah, if you didn't like no upgrades, allow me to introduce you to the next best thing. Gascano on Gauntlet. Nateman has chosen to use a force for track favorite to make a Gascano on Gauntlet.
We got a road trip incoming, boys. It's gonna be a long one. Hope you got your popcorn.
Yep. You might have time to make it too.
Yeah, if you need to take a restroom break now is definitely the time.
Yeah. You want to take a quick 5-minute shower, you can come back and catch the lap 3. You got some time. Oh boy, I'm really curious to see how Metallica handles this.
Man, there's gonna be a lot of time to save on how you do that big off-road section. I think that's like the biggest thing here, and also not dying to the ending tube, which is just gonna be different since it's not a good character.
Yeah, I do hope that they both use a reasonable FPS and not something like 60. I know Metallica is very fond of 45 to 48 FPS, and I believe that's what he's still using. And I believe Nate looks like he's using 30, so they should be fine in the tube. It'll give them enough leniency that they should be okay if they have a decent pattern to begin with. But like you said, that off-road section is a major problem for basically every non-high tier or top tier pod.
Yeah,
For multiple reasons. For Gasgano, it's because his heat to cool ratio is positively atrocious. So he's gonna heat up way faster than Ben does, and he's not gonna cool down anytime soon. So you kind of use all your heat, and Metallica doing it pretty well there, actually, using it pretty timely, but getting to min heat there without underheating, not gonna be fun.
Looks like Nateman understands it too.
Yeah, so we should see both of them do it pretty competently, but can they do it 3 times in a row without messing up that heat pattern? Because Gasgano is just so awkward with that.
And also another part of this track that would be kind of annoying is this U-turn Nateman's coming up to. Like, Gasgano's turning is not great.
Yeah,
and also the bowl as well.
Yeah, that bowl with Ben, it's actually pretty fun. You can take a really inside line, but Gasgano's turn rate's not going to allow for that, so you're really going to be kind of forced out.
Yeah, you really got to remember that he just cannot do that well, and you really got to anticipate that, or else he might end up crashing.
Yeah. Alright, so the countdown was given on the back end, so we should see it catch up here a little bit. Metallica making it through that tube. It's a bit stiff, though. I'm not sure 48 FPS is going to work out, but we'll see.
I would be scared to take high traction here.
Yeah, me too. I would not do lower than 30 FPS. Sorry, higher than 30 FPS. All right.
Okay, top is off.
About 6.5 seconds. All right. Hopefully that's pretty close. Yeah. Almost. Alright.
Well, here we are. We're stuck here for a while.
Yeah, I'm in it. Oh, Nate taking a bad mistake there. Gonna force him onto the off-road for a bit longer than he wants to be on it. And both of them using the full booster, but I think both of them took some underheat there, which, like I said, is a difficult balance because you really want to be able to use your boost, but you also really don't want to underheat. If you're underheating on those previous sections, you're kind of wasting the little bit of opportunity that you have to use Gasgano's cooling. Now, it's not as bad as if you were using a high cool rate pod, but it's still, like, you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the major parts of time save. Like,
yeah, and you can see those mistakes that Nate made really already kind of adding up to basically a second.
It looks like 2 to me.
120, 121. It's about a second, yeah.
I wonder if Gasgano can die from hitting this area here.
I would think he can. It's definitely not as unforgiving as Ben is, but...
Yeah, no upgrades is still gone.
Okay. Let's see how they use the tube. Idea here being to cool off as it's fast train, and they're both doing so. They both could go with using a bit more of it, though, because Gasgano's cooling is so atrocious, there's no reason to force your boost out at the end like that. So we got about a second lead coming from Metallica, and that's all coming from that mistake that Nate made getting onto the off-road section. He messed up the jump and lost his nose down, which can happen and is very annoying. Alright. Off-road section for lap 2 here. Metallica getting a nice boost, but Metallica's on kind of high heat here. Gonna lose some time, whereas Nate's not gonna be stuck on the off-road as long. He made some
they
mistakes
messed up the
though.
previous jump though.
Yeah. But I think it worked out roughly even. I think Metallica's still about a second ahead. It might be a second and a half now,
Yeah.
though.
Hold on, let's see. Yeah, it's like a second and change still. Yeah.
Yeah. That wouldn't be good for Nate to lose his own pick here.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah, because this would be a break serve then, and you don't want to do that if you're in Nate's shoes. Metallica is by far the more experienced tournament player, and as Chat has already pointed out previously, has the second lowest death rate of any tournament player ever, second only to the legendary veteran himself, Mikey Berger. And Mike is kind of on another level when it comes to consistency in this game. It's kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
So to
unfair.
be second to that is saying something. All right. Nate kind of getting beat up by the exit of the tube there. And pretty much identical 2 times. Wow.
300 off.
Amazing.
Metallica's going to make a major mistake here, I think.
Yeah, clearly they have about the same pace on the rest of the track. And I think that comes down to them having relatively similar Ben PBs. They're only about a second apart with Ben, and so there's no real major advantage, especially when you consider tournament play and all of the weirdness that comes from Gasgano and the variants that can come with this off-road section with him.
Nateman did not get the jump for a third time, so...
Yeah, you could see he did some wiggles of frustration, and understand how that must feel. He probably felt pretty good about this. I am assuming that he prepared this and didn't just pick it raw. Doesn't seem like something they would do. I kind of wish one of them had taken that inside turn just one of the laps.
No way. That'd be so foolish.
That'd be such a fool's
That
plan
would
to
be
do with
major
Gasgano.
greed.
Both of them playing basically in the center of the bowl, so you can see that's basically coming down to Gasgano being terrible at turn. Alright. Coming up to the last straights of the track here. Hope you all finished your 5-minute showers I told you to take.
Your Pop-Tarts are done now if you wanted to grab them.
Yeah, you can use them for the rest of the match now. Alright, Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica got this.
Makes it through the tube. Only has to clear these last walls without dying. Catches fire, but it's not going to be enough.
Repairs.
That's incredible.
Whoa. Okay, here's a second.
Alright, so Metallica taking the pick against Nateman.
Yeah, that's not good. You don't want to be blowing force points like that.
No, you really don't. Especially, again, not against somebody who is as consistent as Metallica, so he's really likely to take his own picks. And Nate saying in the comments that he never loses his boost there, and he lost it all 3 laps.
Yeah, that's tourney life. Isn't it lovely?
It sure is. It sure is. Alright. I'm guessing we're going to continue to see Ben banned?
Bullseye.
No, Bullseye. From Nate. Okay. I'm hoping we see a Ben track and not a Bullseye track, because I would rather see Ben.
I love the Bullseye ban. It's one of my favorite because it creates this mind game, right? You either do something terrible.
Now this is a good pick. This is a good pick. Nate choosing one of his better tracks against Metallica has a 14-second lead on this track, which is Boonta Classic. And banning Bullseye. Oh, I'm stupid. Don't mind me. Boonta Classic is a good band. That's what I should say. Because he has a 14-second lead.
DR.
I can't read Bado. Don't mind me. Okay. Detros. No Bullseye means we are going Ben here.
Finally.
So Nate has a low 207 and Metallica has a high 207. And in tournament, that means that they both could win this.
Yeah. It's going to come down to not dying, which is a little difficult on DR, especially because of there's a lot of weird walls. They're angled just a little bit. It's easy to touch them and just die instantly.
There's a couple of fences that are misleading. They feel like they're gonna be not there, and then they're in your face, and you're dead.
Yeah, but this is a
And
very simple track. Very, very simple. It's just
it is. I would say, in terms of ease of understanding of like the tournament strat version, it's probably top 3 easiest to nail down.
for sure. Yep.
This Aqualaris Classic and Mongaza Speedway are just easy to understand at a basic level. All right. I definitely think that this fits a playstyle that Nate needs to do, which is if you're playing an opponent who you're faster than, but is more consistent than you, the idea should be you take them to a track that the consistency part doesn't matter anymore, and it just comes down to speed. And Nate has the speed here, so if he has the consistency, this should be a good pick.
Nah, there's no way we'll ever see roof strats here. You'd have to be crazy to go for that in tournament.
Yeah.
No way.
Roof strats are beyond dangerous and do not save that much time. My best roof strats time versus my best non-roof strats time, it really only saves most 2/10 to a quarter second per lap to do perfect roof strats. So that's just not worth the risk in tournament. You have a very high chance of dying, even if you're the best at it. Which really, nobody does it anymore anyways. I haven't seen a new person do roof strats in a long time.
Not much of a reason yet, unless they want to take world records.
Yeah, you can easily take second place on this track still and not do roof strats. So, all right. Countdown's coming in on the back end here, so should see them go off shortly. I really do hope that Nate feels confident about his consistency here. I imagine that's why he picked it, is because he doesn't think he's going to die, and he doesn't think Metallica's going to die either.
He's just got to trust himself and just do a good IL time, basically.
Yeah.
If he does that, he can beat Metallica.
What he needs to do is he needs to rely on the muscle memory that he's built up. If you start getting into your head about playing tournament style, it's gonna mess you up.
Yup, for sure.
All right.
Especially being green to turning.
I think Nate's just restarting an extra time, so he just like keeps being off from Metallica.
Looks like 10.9 or something, so...
Yeah, about that. We'll see how close it is. Okay, hopefully Nate doesn't make any too big of major mistakes here while it's catching up. Okay, that's basically perfect. Oh, cool.
Good.
All right. And Nate already a little bit ahead on the corner there. You can see his better IL understanding coming in play. This ending section, I think, is where his major advantage is. I think Metallica feels very uneasy during that ending section, is boosting through it, which that ending section of DR is pretty much equivalent to something like a Spice Main Run or Zugga Challenge Market, where you want to optimize your lines. You don't need to worry about your heat. Worrying about your heat, not good. And Metallica also not using the fast terrain that's in that tube.
Really?
Yeah, he just boosted across it there, and that's going to cost him a little bit too.
That's just free time save you're throwing away.
Yeah. Looks like Metallica's acquired a couple tenths of a lead, not much, but still, on a track like this, no mistakes from either player, that's gonna be the difference maker.
Oh, and Nateman comes out ahead.
Yeah.
And he's on lower heat, too.
Yeah, lower heat, and willing to use the fast train. Metallica using it this lap, so that's good at least. Not throwing away more time. Not sure what lap 2 was all about.
I think we're like almost neck and neck at this point. No, Nateman's just a tiny bit ahead.
Yeah. Metallica's using more heat as well again, but this straight you don't have much heat. But Nateman's going to come at it with pretty much perfect heat here. See how much he can use at the end. Okay. Looking good so far. Can he get
True.
the out of bounds? Looks like
Nateman
he's
got
going
this.
to, and Nateman taking it with a
Well,
207.4. Awesome stuff.
man, we're at 2. We're at 2-2 now.
All right, now it's on Nateman to try to break serve against Metallica to get back the lead in this match, or for Metallica to hold off this tournament rookie.
Man, it's heating up right now.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that Nate's poor Gasgano pick didn't get in his head for that DR pick. I was a bit
I was
worried.
worried about that too. Yeah, losing on something so simple like that, it's definitely a little annoying. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right, Metallica
Another
going for
bend.
another Ben ban. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the Ben bans. I don't think that it's the best way to use your pod ban. It doesn't quite get as much effectiveness, if you ask me. It is a free ban, so you are forcing it to not be meta, but I think majority of people kind of are prepared for that anyways. At this point.
Yeah.
And Nate still banning FMR.
Yep.
Continues to do what I would say is the by far best ban that he can do in this case. Other than maybe something like a BTC or a Skips if he wasn't feeling good about it.
This is Metallica. We haven't seen any skips. Well, we've seen SL skips, right?
Yeah, but that's
no,
basically
no
just
lap.
a different full track.
Yeah, but no lap skips yet. He could pull, what, Abyss?
He's got Abyss. He's got BTC.
BTC.
I think they both know Executioner skip.
Exy?
Oh, wait. Is this gonna be skips, or are we just going to do the full track? Oh, we're doing Exy full track.
Dear, that sounds
Okay.
gross.
So Nateman has a half-second lead here in terms of PBs, but I know Metallica keeps his PBs under the rugs until after tournament, so he might have beaten Nateman's public PB at this point.
What's it going to be with bowls, too?
Yeah, for sure. And Bulls is going to make this more awkward.
That first jump into the 2, man, that sounds awful. That's
Yeah, you would never. I would say that no matter who you are or what you're doing, if you're on PC, always do 6600 with Bulls here. Like there is absolutely no excuse to do anything else because that tube entrance is going to be not even perfect at that high of a traction.
What's the strat? Do you just jump into it?
I would say that you'd want to do a higher jump than you do with Ben, just to give it time to work itself out, and then the traction should kick in enough that you get to the center of the tube.
What does Metallica just take? Like an R80? Or no, I think he has an R600.
I hope so. It looks like he upped his FPS, which is good. Metallica's not usually a fan of that, but it looks like it's up to 60. It's kind of hard to tell
You'd
the
have
low
to
bit rate.
for this. Like, there's no way you're getting around this.
Yeah, like I said, there's really no excuse to do anything other than 6600 with Bulls here. You're just adding risk to the track that is unwarranted.
Man, this is a disgusting pick.
Yeah, this is going to be very painful if you're not used to it. I don't think Nateman would have prepared this. What?
Didn't you do this recently too? You did it for a Botto challenge, right?
I think I did it with a Botto challenge. Yeah, I think I got a 352, and I'm pretty sure I have a 351 with Bulls here. I could be wrong though.
Okay, well, no problem from Metallica getting the exit there and getting through the tube.
Yeah, the exit of the actual tube itself there was a really wide line, so I'll be curious to see if Nateman has a better way of doing it. They're both jumping in the exact same way, so they both know how to survive the jump in at least. But...
Oh, yep. That's what I expect.
Yeah, that's bad pathing through that tube. That is not what you want to do. That probably works with Ben, but it is not a very variable way to do it. There's a very good path that you can take that works for every pod in any upgrades or traction setting, and people just don't always know it. Okay, so countdown was given on the back end. We'll see how we're looking here.
Not looking good for Nateman here. Oh, random metallica death.
Gonna push it forward a little bit here. See how everything's looking. I think Nateman's still doing 2 resets per. Not sure what that's for. Oh, actually doesn't do it this time. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you just throwing off my expectations like that. Okay. Cool.
Okay, and we're off.
Oh man, this is a really stressful pick if you're Nate. If you ask me, like this is.
Oh, for sure,
There's no way
Especially
you
on the
prepared
junior
this.
track. Like it's not something you can really easily feel out quickly either. I think not in
No.
practice. I mean, not in warm ups.
No, it's not enough time to get a good idea for what to do. They both make it in just fine, but this tube pathing that Nateman was doing earlier, I did not like it at all.
Ooh, that was close. He bonked the wall, but he made it.
Yeah, he had a worse line coming out of it than Metallica 2, and I was kind of hoping that would be where he would gain back some time. And it doesn't look like it's going.
Can both get a boost hold through the door?
I think you probably could get it, but I don't think it would be consistent on high FPS setup. You'd probably have to do a low FPS setup, which is not what you're doing here. Would not recommend that to anybody, especially in a tournament setting. Okay. Coming down to the end of the first lap, I think Nate might have a small lead even.
I think Metallica had better heat usage though, because Nateman boosted earlier, I think.
Oh,
in the tube.
They're both lost their boosts there, so that might not matter now.
Ooh, yeah.
Metallica definitely snuck ahead with some lead there. I think he got more of his
he's ahead
boost.
by just a little.
Yeah, he got out more of his boost when they both made those mistakes there. So that's good for him.
Okay, not too much of an issue here in this part. Got to come up to the anti-gravity tube.
Yeah, the game practically forces you to take good lines there, so there's really no consistency or time issue. Okay, Metallica boosting in the tube. Oh! And Nate taking a crash on exit, which is something that a lot of people have issues with, and something like Bulls is going to be more inconsistent.
What do you think that was there? Was it just him being upside down? Or?
He might have been doing some sort of input while upside down. You definitely, to make it as consistent as possible, want the belly of the pod to be pretty close to parallel with the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, that you're exiting on.
I personally angle it so that it's a little bit turned counterclockwise from that, but not much. Right. It's not a lot.
Yeah, like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, this is Metallica's to lose now.
Certainly, and as we've said a couple times already, Metallica not known for making a lot of mistakes, so the odds of him losing wouldn't be good on paper. We'll see what happens. Anybody can make a mistake.
It would have to be this first anti-grav tube is like where he'll die, if he does.
Yeah, or the door doing something awkward.
Yeah, but that's a lot lower, I think.
Yeah, this is not very high chance, and see if he handles the exit just fine. He's basically doing a little bit more exaggerated to the angle that I would do, and it works out just fine for him. And Nate making it out. You know what I think it is, actually? I think Nate is getting locked in to the center where you can't like rotate, and that's what's throwing him off. A lot of times, if you get a bad angle like that, you will die on it.
Yeah, if you jump like directly over through the center of that first anti-grav tube, it locks your rotation, so you cannot rotate. So you need to jump into it like more on the right side, like above the caution, the black and yellow stripes.
All right, Metallica taking it with a 355.
The solid run right there. So it's back at Nateman to choose, figure out something that he can come out on top on.
Yeah, and he still needs to break serve if he wants to win the match, because this is first to 5 or best of 9, so Metallica doesn't need to do anything special other than win his own picks. All right. Another bullseye ban from Nateman. Sticking with that. Like you said earlier, it's a pretty good pod ban.
Yeah, it keeps you thinking. Like you either have to, you got to think about the tracks where he's good on, and you have to consider that with maybe also doing a bin track. So you have to really weight it there.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are basically using their temp ban as a permanent ban, as Metallica sticks with banning the Boonta Classic.
Yeah.
So we won't be seeing anything too crazy.
SMR.
All
Let's
right,
go.
Nate sticking with the same ideology as the D-Throws pick. A
That's a
track he
great
feels
pick.
he can be consistent and that it will even out. And he doesn't really have a lead here, but he plays riskier than Metallica. So if he just ekes out that time, it's going to
Yeah,
be
if
a
he
good
just
pick.
pushes it, he can get this. He definitely
Yeah.
can.
They both have high 340s, so I would suspect that they're both going to aim for a 341 of some kind.
I hope they both remember to do the cutscene manip for this track.
Yeah, if they
That'd be
don't do
very
the
rude.
cutscene manip, then it's gonna make it more difficult on lap 3
I
and
think
lap
they
2.
do Draco, but in a tourney sense, sometimes you kind of forget these small things.
Or you accidentally menu too far after you've restarted for the race. It's
Yeah.
very easy to do. If you just press enter or A or whatever too many times, it's just gone. There's your window of opportunity. All right, so we're gonna see another bend mirror.
Man, Nateman with the based pick, R600.
Ooh, did you see that
good.
time? It looked
Who?
like his PB was a 340.0. That's not a public time there. That's his TGFD file giving it away.
Dong nerding out.
So Nateman actually a bit faster than it would look like on paper. For all of you who are possibly going to face him, I would take your notes now. Write that down. Write that down.
So it's actually looking pretty good for Nateman.
Yeah, he's got about an 8/10 PB lead, at least in terms of what we now know. I think Metallica, again, might have a better time than a 340.8, but I can't imagine that it's that low. Like, that's starting to get into the upper echelon of understanding SMR. It's not easy to get that low.
For sure, yeah. It's really finicky with boost pattern. Your lines are absolutely critical, especially in this lava tube section. There's so much time to save and not boosting and getting a great line there.
Yeah.
And this market section as well that Nateman's going through. Those are critical in getting a great time.
Absolutely. You see Metallica taking not only a bonk there, but boosting through market too. He's not going to feel as comfy as Nateman, it seems. I think this is a fantastic pick, personally.
Yeah, this is the consistency over quality issue coming in here from Metallica.
Yeah. And Nate, like I said, if you can match Metallica's consistency and just be faster than him, there's no options left for Metallica during that race. He's just going to lose.
Yep.
But of course, that only works because Nateman is such a fast player. If Nate didn't have that speed, it would not work. All right, it looks like we're getting close to the start of the race. Let's hope they both remember to do the ever-important cutscene manip. SMR are going to be really weird for the timings of this K.
Okay, great. Perfect.
They are both doing it. Metallica doing a really long one, and Nate doing a slightly shorter. But it should work out okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they're comfortable with it. I'm just glad they remembered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I've forgotten to do it before, and it's not a good time. A little bit more.
Okay, Metallica doesn't even get the boost hold. Neither does Nateman, though.
They're not boosting enough coming out of there, too, so this is going to be a bit awkward on the heat pattern, but they both make it work. Losing out a little bit on the earliest part of fast terrain there.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy for a start for both of them.
Yeah. Nate on a little bit higher heat, too, so I think Metallica had a small lead if you factor in the heat going into this section.
I think he does, yeah.
But it might even out if Nate can take some good lines, which he's definitely going for more aggressive lines than Metallica.
Actually, I think Nateman's coming out ahead already.
Yeah, he already made up that time loss, which
Yeah.
is pretty crazy.
Okay, so here.
Okay, he's doing a boost there. I wouldn't say that that's necessary most of the time, but it really depends on your market usage. So if you're planning on boosting through market, which I think Metallica is, then there's no reason to do it anyways, especially. But honestly, I really wasn't a fan of either of their boost patterns, if I'm being honest.
I think Nateman lost out on a little bit of heat.
Yeah. They didn't seem he had the confidence to boost through the beginning part of market sufficiently to not underheat, and then he didn't boost as early as he could have coming out of there.
Yeah. So I think Metallica's outright ahead right now. But
man, it's so close. I really can't tell with the heat patterns. Let's see where they exit here. I think Nate's still ahead, actually.
I think he just came out ahead because Metallica exited the fast train wide.
He did exit. He did exit it a bit wide, and he's been doing a lot worse lines than Nateman through the straight sections, which is very confusing because it's not like it's a difficult corner. It's just a straight. There's no real reason to play so far away from the wall. Yeah, but like that safe is a bit excessive. Now this tube here, it's understandable. And Metallica, this is a key difference here. Metallica is a keyboard player, and that tube is not built for keyboard. Like you want to have I don't think it's fun on keyboard personally, because it's a lot easier.
Losing out on heat again on the
yeah. It doesn't look like it's gonna matter though, because Metallica's made enough mistakes that he's capping out on his heat like 3 whole seconds.
Yeah, Metallica was at a 115 per second lap, which is
that's really rough.
Yeah.
Okay, clean dozer manip for both of them.
No problems here, no issues. See what their heat's like when they exit.
Okay.
Little underheat. Metallica doesn't underheat though.
Yeah, but he's gonna lose any advantage that he would have gotten back from using the fast train like that and not underheating by just doing all these lines so wide.
Okay, it's gonna come down to this.
Nateman does not need to play risky at the end here, but he doesn't know that. So we'll see how he handles it. This ending heat is very difficult. You can actually fire at the end of Spice-Man Run, but it's not the easiest thing to do.
Does he have 71 nose down?
I don't believe so.
Okay, that makes it way harder too.
Yeah, he handled it pretty well. And yeah, Nateman taking it with a 340-70. That's great.
That's a great time for like how sloppy some of the laps looked.
For sure. And that's, again, actually faster than his public PB was before this.
Man, okay, so 3-3. 3-3.
What a good match this is. Incredible.
We are going the distance, boys.
I really think there's a high chance of a race 9 here.
Man, my 200 million Truggets is sitting on this bet, and it's scaring me. All of my Monopoly money, Dom.
Not the Monopoly. No. How are you going to get that back? You got some passive Monopoly income?
Yeah, I do. I'm a parasite.
Living off the sponsorships.
Yep. Seems Metallica's taking a bit to.
Oh, sticking with Ben. Sticking with Ben.
Another temp ban of Ben Quadaneros.
So our boy is gonna be tucked away again. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm gonna say Mediterranean, I guess. Looks like. It's been a very good match so far. But Nate won the first race and Metallica broke serve, and so right now it is on Metallica's pick.
Okay, we got a FMR temp ban and a BTC temp ban with a force point.
Oh, using a force point to restrict Metallica's options. I actually like that because I don't think Nate has.
That cuts off the BTC skips threat that Metallica has.
Yeah, and I think Nate's operating under the assumption that he doesn't need to use his force points to win the tracks. He needs to use them to make up to break serve. And I think that's a good plan. Because if his picks are solid enough, the most important thing is getting back the lead. Because right now he does not have it. Okay. Beto's Wild Ride. Are we going to see any force points this time?
Oh,
Metallica has
God.
2. Oh,
Aldar, Beto.
that's rough.
Frack's favorite force.
Jeez.
That's disgusting. That's quite disgusting.
Yeah, there's been no good tournament time with this pick. Yam did it back in the day with 4 deaths. So we're gonna see probably a new best Aldar on Vito's time here for tournament at least.
Man, Metallica really going for the throat with this pick, I feel. This is nasty. Like, Aldar just handles really poorly. His traction's already really low.
Yeah, Eldar tied for the lowest traction stat in the game. And even when you up his traction part, you probably still want to have higher FPS too, honestly.
I'm expecting no tints here. If Metallica pulls out tint somehow and does it well, I would be shocked.
Well, another thing about tent is that it works better for Ben than a lot of other pods because Ben's cooling is a lot slower than pods. Like Aldar's is a lot faster than Ben's.
Well,
so
I mean, it's still be a bonus, right?
It's still faster, but it's less meaningful.
Yeah.
So really, you could probably beat an okay Aldar time with tent by just doing a really good time without tent, and it's probably easier too.
Even then, like this first tunnel is still pretty nasty.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if any of them, or either of them, sorry, would have issues with that initial slope getting to that tunnel, because I know Ben struggles with it, and I kind of wonder, Aldar's bad turning, it might make it even worse.
Yeah, like, especially with the lower traction, like, it's so easy to, like, just fall off and slam right into that rock that blocks the way. Or the pillar, I mean, it's...
Oh, man. That off-road section that Metallica's on right now, that left turn, might also be a bit hairy if you're not used to using Aldar here, because you could easily understeer and hit that pillar and die. I can see that happening. The ice section that Nateman just went over to, that's going to be rough. Okay, Metallica not going for 10 practice.
Yep.
Oh,
Nateman dying randomly?
That's a strange death to have happen.
And Metallica also dying.
Okay, then. Let's hope they're getting their deaths out in practice here. I'm not sure I agree with Nateman doing far cam for Aldar. He's not a generally far cam user. So.
I wouldn't do it.
There's no real reason to. It's not like he's that bad on the camera. It's just going to make you more uncomfortable than you otherwise would be. Metallica playing it really safe on that ice section, which doesn't surprise me, and probably going to play to his advantage in a race like this.
Nateman going backwards. I hope his confidence isn't that low that he's just messing around now.
Yeah, no, that would be not good if his confidence is there. Eesh. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. Looks like Nateman's jumping the gun on this one more so than Metallica is. Okay.
Okay, Nateman's off. First thing we got to pay attention to is this ice tunnel that comes up, because it's so easy to mess up.
Oh, we pause on the frame.
Okay. There's another hard turn here. Yep. Metallica's great.
Getting onto the bridge just fine. This U-turn can be pretty dangerous if you're not used to doing it with that pod too. Even this uphill turn can be a bit difficult.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man! I can't believe he salvaged that. Incredible reaction. Wow.
That was incredible. Okay, we got this annoying off-road section here.
Okay.
Do they go for left side? Probably not, right?
I would think they would, yeah. It's a bit more difficult with Aldar, but nothing too bad. Nateman reserving his boost and timing it pretty well. So that
early. I think he's trying to make the entrance safer, which makes sense.
Yep. Nateman surviving it and Metallica surviving it. But Metallica on much lower heat. We'll see how this works out here. Oh, misses the boost. That's not going to be good. He's got to Like I said earlier,
really boost here, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and he does, but
and
it
he
doesn't
can't
matter. I
make
think he
it.
took some frames of underheating still.
He did, yeah, because he had to let it go because he messed up the turn.
Yep, and it's
So
really hard to
Nateman's
make that turn
ahead.
even with Ben.
Okay, I like that.
Ooh, Metallica spamming back a little bit, maybe a bit frustrated by those
He knows, you can
mistakes.
feel it.
Yeah, Metallica not a fan of making mistakes, which is, I mean, probably why he's so consistent compared to most players. Okay,
And then bonking.
look,
He
looks
lost a
like
little bit of
this.
time with that too.
I think this lead is almost entirely legitimate though, because Metallica had to
Oh
stop
yeah, because the
boosting.
Nateman boost. Yeah, yeah. He's.
Wow. Ooh, catches
Oh,
fire. Ooh,
I thought he hit something and like exploded.
gosh.
This is scaring me.
Yeah, and Nateman, this might be his best chance that he gets to break serve, depending on what else Metallica's got in the take. Oh,
Oh
I thought he held nose up too early there. You can so
man,
easily
he
clip
is
that if you do.
not messing around.
Holy moly!
He's coming out ahead though. Oh, he's
Can
got
he
the
hold?
ghost honk.
Oh, can he hold it together at
I
the
think
end?
yes,
They're so
yes,
close to even.
he's got it.
Can't afford to take a big
Come
difference.
on.
Oh, okay.
I think Nateman's got this. Just
Needs to
one last
just make
turn to
it to
clear.
the
Okay, he's
end.
got it.
And Nateman
Yeah,
takes it by six
that's
tenths of a
hot.
second.
So he lost
Wow.
on his track favorite pick of Gaskin on Gauntlet, but he made it back by beating Metallica on it.
So that is the second break serve point that we've seen, meaning that Metallica now has to do it back to Nateman in order to take this match. And now Nateman is actually on match point on his own pick.
My
That's a good
truck
place to
is
be in. That's pretty incredible. Let's see what Nate has in store for us. He still has another force point here, so if he picked something crazy, he might have it. But I
bullseye
really
again.
think his strength would be just to stick with what he did on DR and SMR. There's no
Yeah,
reason
maybe
to kind of stray
HTC
from
if
that
that's
plan.
not banned.
He's got Aqualaris Classic he could do that with. Um, let's see, what else has he got that'd be a pretty good lead?
Typical temp bans of bullseye and Beck, I assume.
Howler Gorge could be a good pick.
Yep. Bunta training course. No, Fire Mountain Rally temp ban, and then also Bunta training course force ban. That is excellent. He is keeping the BTC shenanigans out. He does not want to lose it to that.
Yeah. Based off of what's left, I'm not sure what Metallica really would want to take.
He could do what? Exy skips? No, that requires 2 points, doesn't it? No, he can do Exy skips with a run back, right?
Yeah, the run back isn't a force point. It's its own thing.
Bumpies? Bumpy skips? Oh
Oh,
my word!
oh, okay.
Wow, that's an
So,
awesome pick.
so Bumpy skips here. Um, for anybody unaccustomed to what this really will mean, it's you play it kind of with the FPS. You either go to a higher FPS, which is more consistent. Ben's gonna be the pick here. Ben was not banned, Bullseye was. So Ben's gonna be the pick. Higher consistency on the higher FPS for the skip, but not the track. Right? So you kind of go faster the lower the FPS you go, but you increase the risk of missing the skip. And missing the skip, if your opponent gets it 3 out of 3 times, is an automatic
It's open,
loss.
yeah.
Yeah, you've lost.
I
There's no recovering from that.
I would not do lower than like 52 FPS here. There's so much risk in missing the skip here.
Yeah. I have never once gone for lower than 60 in tournament because the skip is so important. And you can make that hairpin pretty close to breakless, but you would really not want to in tournament anyways.
No,
Like
I would not.
no. For reference, there's a shortcut, and immediately after that shortcut, there's a hairpin, and that hairpin is the most difficult part of the track on higher FPS.
Yeah, you'll see it at near the end
Is
of the
that
lap.
48 FPS from Metallica, or am I misreading that? That's crazy if it's 48.
Well, he made it.
I mean,
Seems like he
you can
knows.
do it. Don't get me wrong, you can do it at 48. It's just you have a higher chance of it not catching the ball. Ooh.
And also, let's not forget there's shortcut here as well. So not only have to do the skip, but there's a pretty big shortcut you want to get all 3 laps.
Yeah, missing that shortcut like Metallica just did there in practice. If
And
it's even other than that, it will make enough of a difference.
yeah, and if you die there, it's really, really bad. Or it can be, anyways. He gets it again, so it seems like it's not an issue for Metallica.
I mean,
Nateman,
if
I
it
guess
works, it
got
works. Yeah, Nate got it. He did it without boosting, which is fine. It's not as good on lap 1, but it's fine for everything else. Ooh, the shortcut giving Metallica trouble, though. Hasn't gotten it clean once in practice yet. They do have a little bit of extra time to practice for skips, which here is really going to be mainly used for the rest of the track and not the skip on.
Yeah, honestly. It's quite difficult, especially at a higher traction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, low FPS here is so comfortable, but without that, it's just Nateman makes it cleanly through the shortcut, no issue.
Yeah.
And
I would
Nateman's coming up
say
to the 180 we're talking about.
Yep, this turn here.
Oh, he did that pretty well too.
Well, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm not sure what FPS he's on. I can't really read it. It might be lower than 60.
There's no way at 30 something, right? I can't see it.
I can't tell at all what it says. Like, genuinely at all. I just hope they both get to skip 3 times and we have a real race, because
DU
like I
is
said,
saying also 48, so they're both on 48 FPS.
how can he read that?
That's
That does not look like 48 to me at all.
Screen.
It legitimately reads like 26 from this Discord restream.
Yeah, it's not the best quality. This is gonna be a nail biter.
Yeah, I know both of these players should be capable of getting a low 240 to a high 230 in this type of a situation.
I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think Nateman has the edge here because he's probably way more well versed on the rest of the track than Metallica is, which is just critical.
Yeah, it makes
like,
such
it's not
a big
enough
difference.
getting the skip here. It's just not.
BB is one of the most consistent skips in the game. It does have that high, loss if you miss it, but in terms of just getting it paced flat out, it's not that bad.
Oh, he's starting?
It looks like it, yeah. The countdown was already given, so this should be the real start here.
Okay, this is Nateman's to win this. Gets the first skip. They both get the first skip. No issue.
My bad. My numpad just broke and it broke my sync. No. Sorry about that, people.
Nateman makes it through.
Okay. Metallica also making it through.
Okay, so there's 180 coming up. That's also important. You can lose a lot of time here if you do this really poorly.
About the same.
Yeah, that was almost the exact same. That was nuts. Okay, clean.
Metallica. I think Metallica has a slight real lead. Not much, but slight. Completely different boost pattern here, so I'm not sure how they'll end up working out. Okay, Nateman going for one big boost on this uphill leading to the skip. Oh no!
Oh! Metallica does not make it.
That could be the match right there.
Dude, my truggets.
Oh my gosh. That's honestly inconceivable. And that's the warning that I was trying to give about that lower FPS. It could not catch on the wall, and it just failed Metallica.
Yeah, it just fails you, yeah.
I will never go below 60 for that exact reason.
Oh my gosh.
So if Nateman gets the skip, he is practically guaranteed to win the match. Which against somebody like Metallica,
that's just
unbelievably impressive.
I was not expecting that at all.
Nate has been holding himself together so well. I am beyond impressed.
Yeah, for real. Like, his practice from yesterday was scaring me, but this is just nuts. Like,
let's see if he gets it. It's looking good.
Oh my god.
I think that's the match already. I don't think there's any way.
No.
Yeah, it's over. Nateman's gonna take this match against Metallica 5-3.
I cannot believe this.
That is incredible.
Metallica had a really rough match this time.
Yeah, he loses his own pick 2 times in a row here. Not the way that you would typically see Metallica do in tournament, but I mean, it happens to everybody eventually.
Wow.
And Nateman,
Nateman takes it.
he does take it.
5-3.
Wow. What a showing. And a 241 is a pretty good BB time to get in tournament. You're really not going to see much better than that. Incredible. Well, I'll be absolutely interested in seeing how this interview goes. Both of them are probably going to have completely different takes on things. I don't even know if Nateman's actually going to do the interview, but we'll see. All right. That's going to be the match right there.
Wow, that was... Nateman's looking extremely good here. That was an impressive showing for him. Was that his first match here?
That's his first match ever.
That Can you imagine? Just imagine taking off Metallica like that on your first round ever in a tournament for this game.
Yeah, Nate saying he doesn't have a mic, so we are going to get Metallica in here for the interview, but really, honestly, the biggest congratulations to Nateman.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Speechless.
Yeah. Welcome, Metallica.
Hello.
Well, I'm sure that didn't end the way you expected it to, missing the Bumpy's Breaker skip like that.
Yeah. Well, Bumpy's Breaker skip is always a little bit inconsistent. But, I was hoping that that luck would be on my side this time, but sadly it wasn't.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, why 48 FPS for Bumpy?
Why? Because that's the best. It works best.
No way.
Yeah.
On Bumpy's? Oh.
Yeah. I'm always it's like 4 years in a row doing the skip on 48.
Ah, man. I can't. I would never. Oh. You had some really crazy picks, though, this time, Metallica. I mean, pulling out the Bulls on Eggsy and Aldar on Beto. Even though you lost Aldar on Beto, I genuinely was like, that's crazy to pick.
That was a scary pick, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was trying to choose, I realized Bulls and Beto are kind of similar. So if I'm gonna go for a Bulls pick, maybe I can do Beto with a new force. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna use it, but I had already beaten him twice with Bulls, I think. So I decided to go for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, you did have those unfortunate mistakes on lap 2 that may have been enough to make the difference. It was very neck and neck leading up until that, for sure.
Yeah, I underheated multiple times there. I couldn't use enough boost.
Yeah, you lost it in some key places at that beginning part, so unfortunate there. So tell me about how you got to Doug Derby, because that was not the first track I would have anticipated.
Duck Derby. Well, I don't know. Anything can happen in Duck Derby, especially since it's the first track. I think that's when you have the most nerves in your body coming into a match. So definitely, I think that's what made me mess up the turn there.
Oh. So how are you feeling though? Other than obviously you lost. I mean, I get that, but how did you feel about your actual gameplay today?
I had more deaths than I would like, but other than that, I still think I played well enough. It's a bit unfortunate that I had no idea what Nateman was going to pick, so I'm not sure if my bans really were very relevant. I suspect maybe.
I think we're talking about that. These are kind of odd.
Yeah.
Or at least one of them, I think. Let's see.
Well, I banned Bunta Classic because he has a much better PV.
APC though.
Yeah, APC was the one that I didn't understand.
APC, I struggled
like
a lot on the turn where you have to brake.
Mhm.
So, and I just didn't practice it enough this time. So I thought maybe he might go for that. I mean, I think he has a much faster PV too. Let me see. Well, I don't know, 235.4 versus 234.4. It just seemed like big enough that maybe it would be a bad pick for me.
I will say that the tracks that Nate did end up picking, I don't think that they were tracks that most people would have viewed as being worth banning, right? Because their tracks were, it comes down to a battle of consistency first and then speed second. And so since Nateman was able to match that, like, you know, neither of you made major mistakes. It just came down to the fact that he was faster on the track. And so since it's such a marginal difference majority of the time, people wouldn't normally ban that.
Yeah, actually, I saw that he played a practice match yesterday, and I noticed that on the like shorter, more difficult tracks, he was struggling a lot, but on the longer, easier tracks like SMR, he was doing pretty well. So I actually did practice SMR, but I didn't ban it because I thought, you know, it's easy enough for me too, so maybe I can beat him on it. It just didn't seem worth actually banning, but looking back, I probably should have.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I was talking about this earlier in the match, but against somebody like you, Metallica, you and Mike are both known for being a next level higher than most people in terms of consistency on basically anything, but especially on just like meta full track picks, right? Like both of you have the 2 lowest death rates, Mike more so than you even, but it's just like absurd low death rate. And so the plan against that is generally just like, I gotta match that consistency somehow, or take you somewhere I have such a big advantage. But of course, you're gonna get rid of the tracks that you have that big of a disadvantage on, right? So you end up having to go for that strat of like, okay, I just gotta outpace them.
Yeah.
Somehow it worked out, but the fact that you lost your own picks at the end there was what surprised me. I was really expecting Nate to not be able to break serve against you.
Yeah, that beat us well right. Really, I think that's that's what messed me up the most. And also,
that was like the start of the downfall, I think.
Yeah. But also, Nate really did his homework. Unfortunately, there's too much data about me out there. So, for example, on those last 2 picks, I was actually thinking between, you know, Beatles were right or Punta training skips. But then he used the new force to do an extra ban there. He also banned FMR, which I had also practiced.
Yeah.
What else
I was looking at the. I did my homework right before the match. Pulled up your guys' public PVs, and his FMR, his public FMR time is a lot worse than yours, Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, I had to really practice it just in case.
His 2 permabans. Yeah, the 2 permabans I expected were Fire Mountain Rally and Inferno. He didn't do Fire Mountain Rally as a permaban, but he might as well have because he temp-banded every time. So I was like, he knew what he was getting himself into, that's for sure. And I don't think that you didn't. Yeah. So if anybody is facing him, I'm gonna say that as if he's not my next opponent. But if anybody's facing him, he should be worried about his homework abilities.
Yeah, seriously. Like, this was an incredibly strong showing from Nate.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? We actually do know who your next opponent's going to be as well, Metallica. You're going to be facing Digital Unity.
Digital Unity. Is he even going to play, though?
He hasn't dropped out yet, so...
Yeah.
If you're still listening, Digital, we expect to see a match versus you and Metallica, okay?
Yeah, come on. That would be nice. I mean, well, I think, like, in 2021... I think he had like a bunch of real life stuff going on, and we played a match, but he dropped out when I was winning like 3-0 or something. I hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, regardless of that, the tournament is starting to really heat up over here. So the only round 1 match that we have left for the upper bracket is Mike versus Harold. The ultimate of consistency and just an absolute legend in Mike versus another highly skilled rookie in Harold. So
Yep. He's also green to the tournament.
Yep. It's pretty much a more exaggerated version of this match, honestly.
Actually is, yeah, you're right.
So, if Nate can win this one, maybe Harold can take the upset against Mike even.
Oh, that would be something else.
Yeah,
I think that would throw almost everybody off on their picks.
If Harold won that, I would have a stroke.
Yeah, genuinely, it's like, wow. Mike's such a great player and like on all levels. It's just whew. So we got some great stuff. So the upcoming upper bracket matches now, like I said, Digital and Metallica, Mike and Harold, and then myself and Nateman. So Nate's got to see if he can pull it off against me next. But I promise I won't make it easy on him.
Well,
okay, and then let's see. What else do we have in terms of upcoming scheduled events? On Thursday, we have Knock versus Balmus in the lower bracket. Knock having more known times, but Balmus having better known times. It'll be a very curious match to see how much they've practiced or prepared for that. And then Paige versus Lilac Dryad, which is that's a pretty underdog story right there. If Lilac can do something against Paige,
yeah.
So and that's going to be on Wednesday, June 12th. So we got a little bit of time before that one. We'll see how many matches we can get scheduled in that time. But in the meantime, if you like this sort of stuff and are new, be sure to check out the Discord. We're always active in there, posting times, having fun. If you want any advice, we're always welcome to give it to you. Or if you just want to be able to follow tournament more closely, you'll be able to check that out in the Pod Racing Discord. Thank you, everybody who was a part of this match. Hellfire, Metallica, Nateman, all fantastic. I love
and thanks to
the commentary
for hosting us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, I believe, the 6th year in a row that they've had us host this tournament here, and it's an honor to be able to have it somewhere where people can hop in and watch it more publicly. So, and of course, thank you to everybody who was watching. We wouldn't do this without at least some number of people who enjoy watching it. It wouldn't be worth doing, so we appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you around for future matches. May the force be with you.
Y'all take care.